Welcome back to Rabbit Hole Adventures. My name is Joel. It's time for a quick update on what's going on with this Quicksilver ultralight back here. So it's where I broke the magneto housing, and well, I didn't break it, but it got broken because this new GPL starter, which was new at the time, now it's pretty dusty. Last video I explained what happened, but it fell apart, had some parts roll around inside the fan housing, which broke a couple chunks out, made me a little unhappy. I did end up getting a new fan housing, which is up here. Same one that I had mentioned in my last video. So it's right there. It's got a different serial number, so I'm kind of interested in how I'm going to deal with that. Maybe I'll just engrave it as the previous serial number. I had to get a new magneto housing. The last one was kind of messed up because these little nubs right here had been kind of rounded out by the debris that was in there. Got a new pickup that's installed right there, and the other one's over here. So I'm going to put this new fan housing on, and then I'm going to reinstall these pickups, and I'm going to set the timing. And the way to do that is apparently to pull this spark plug right here, and I've got a long dial indicator, and I 3D printed some parts so that I can make it work, and I'm going to feed that in there. And then you're supposed to roll this to the certain position based off of the timing mark and the pickup, and then set the timing. So it's been almost 2 years since this thing had some issues and got grounded. I made a video a long time ago, over a year ago, and hasn't really been a priority with life and kids and work and all that stuff, but now it's pretty dusty, as you can see. I'm tired of it sitting here. I would like to fly. I haven't flown in over a year. I was working on my PPL. I got my special issuance, which I mentioned in my previous video, and I got to solo a Super Cub, and that was pretty much it. I ended up getting real busy with life, kind of set everything aside. My special issuance has expired now, which kind of sucks, but I'll have to pick that up when I can. And since I've got the itch to fly, and I've got this here Quicksilver, I'm looking to get it fixed back up, and I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, progress report. So I did get some stuff done, which is nice. Wanted to give you guys a quick show of what I did and how I did it. So let's flip this. Okay, so one thing I didn't touch on was I pulled this guy off, or the previous part, before I took, well, the fan shroud was off, and I actually used a pipe wrench, a cloth pipe wrench, and I wrapped it around, strap wrench I should say, and held it, and then was able to hit this guy and get it off, and then just did reverse to put it back on. So fan shroud's on. I engraved it a little bit. Not my best work, but worked nonetheless. Can't really see that very well. So put the old serial number on there just in case I ever wanted to reference it. I got both the pickups on. This one that I'm showing you here is timed with the first cylinder, and that second one there I haven't done yet. It's just mounted. How I went about timing it was I'm using the Rotax repair YouTube channel, and he seems to know what he's doing. I couldn't find a guide on how to time it, but here is my long travel dial gauge, and basically those timing marks that I mentioned there line up with the timing mark on the pickup, and I've got it set to 69 degrees before top dead center. Not focusing very well, but you just rotate the engine, dial indicator moves up and down with the piston, you find top dead center, and then roll it back till it's 69 degrees before. So there's that, and I am on to the next one. One thing I forgot to mention real quick was getting the gap between the pickup and the magneto wheel. It is 20 thousandths of an inch, so I had to use this 12 and an 8 that's stacked up together. I actually paid close attention to that Rotax repair guy, and that's how he went about doing that. And then this is a very redneck way of going about it. Aircraft specific tool, SD card, or adapter for an SD card. I use that flat edge right there, to line up the line on the magneto wheel and the pickup, and make sure that it's perfectly flat, flush, all the above. This little gray guy here is what I ended up having to more or less redesign. I found it on either Printables or Maker World. I think I searched 14mm spark plug something or other, and I found this that somebody had built to go on one of these long travel dial indicators. It's a couple of pieces. This guy here is a nut that you slide on first. This guy here on the bottom is just for grip. I actually modified it a little bit, put a hole in there to release some of the compression as I went through, and had to adjust the diameter to get it to fit properly. This indicator has a ball on the tip. I'm not sure how well that's rolling as it slides across the top of the piston, which is a little sketch, especially at the angle that it's at, because most of these dial indicators do not recommend using it at an angle of any sort. So that's what I got. I will try to get onto both Maker World and Printables and upload my version of this file, and it should be under Rabbit Hole Adventures of some sort and 14mm spark plug top dead center tool. Real quick, back to the redneck tools. I figured I'd show you what I ended up using to pull the magneto flywheel off. I ended up having to more or less find the tool to do it instead of buy the correct Rotax tool and wait. The correct Rotax tool, you actually keep the fan shroud on, mount the tool on there so that it holds it up against the fan shroud, and then you can remove the big nut on the end. What I ended up using was this guy here. So this is what I ended up using. It's the Duralast, obviously from AutoZone, steering wheel puller, and it was those 3 bolts with the pin that goes down the center and pulls it off. There's a couple of different tools. I just ended up using this flat guy so I didn't mar anything. Alright, through the magic of video, 2 hours later, I got the other cylinder timed. Let me show you what... Oh, lining up the marks on both sides, getting the gap in there, and also doing it like this, reaching over the freaking motor, balancing on one leg, trying to get in here while trying to get everything lined up all precision. Like, that sucked a lot. I would recommend pulling the engine or trying to do it before you mount the engine or something, but doing it like this was bad. I did consider trying to yank the engine off, but I didn't want to deal with all this, and I figured it would just be easier to do it. But mounting that magneto flywheel, the fan housing, doing the timing, do not recommend while standing on a ladder. So, more to follow tomorrow. See you for today.